And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in another big edition of TigerBait Live. And of course, LSU football practices for the 2025 season started this morning. We were out there, and of course, we loaded all of you up with our practice report, Brian Kelly, our 4K practice footage, and we're going to break it down even further. And it was an abbreviated practice, and I guess maybe the biggest news of the day was true freshman Solomon Thomas with a metatarsal injury, out for a month. But other than that, I think everything else went to plan. Welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike Scarborough. I apologize, everybody. I tried to make it over here in time, but as we know, when it rains in Baton Rouge, it becomes a cluster. And so we are here, and yeah, not too bad. You know, you asked me on the report why he said they only went to an hour, and basically they're getting acclimated. You can work out all you want, but when you put the equipment on and you get out there, went early in the indoor. I like that. We got a chance to film in that. Then we went outside, and look, this first day for players as well as coaches and media, you want to get, acclimated to the heat, humidity, and the grind. And so it wasn't bad at all. We had about an hour, and BK was in a good mood, and
So I'm assuming tomorrow will be all indoors.
Yeah, right, after this rain.
Then we don't have access Friday, and then Saturday we'll get our normal periods, and then we get to stay the entire practice.
Yeah, and look, all I can say about Solomon Thomas is that he was highly touted as 5-star, but he was not a starter. He was trying to get into the 2 deep in the spring. This is going to set him back. Carius Kern has lost 15 pounds. He's trying to beat out Tyree Adams. And I do think that Bo Bordelon now has made some progress backing up Weston Davis. And, of course, Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson, the 2 portal guys from Virginia Tech and Northwestern, were in that first unit. So a lot of competition across the board. We've got a lot of tidbits for you tonight.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, let's dive in. And as always, if you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button for us. We're going to go to a little past 7. And please, you're watching us on Facebook, share it to your Facebook feed. If you're watching us on YouTube, share it out to your fellow LSU buddies. And we're going to be getting all your questions and comments in tonight. Randy Jones says, hey, buddy, our friend Carl the Cat put me on to you. Love your show. Go Tigers.
Hi, Randy.
And Brad David, good evening, Mike and Buddy. Did you have a problem with Kelly's comments about Death Valley? Yeah, I didn't care for it. There's no, look, it's not like any team, either team needs any motivation, but I don't know. Does that give you an extra 5 decibels of loudness for Clemson? I don't know. It wasn't necessary, but look, when a coach goes in front of a Rotary or a TAF or whatever group, they always like to have some red meat.
Yeah. I have said this a couple of times when I've been asked about that. And look, everybody knows, or you should know, Clemson actually claimed Death Valley for their stadium earlier than LSU did. That being said, if I was BK, and Clemson was 0 for 3 last year against the SEC, got skull drug at Georgia. Sellers in Carolina came back to beat them in the last game of the regular season, and then they got beat by 2 touchdowns by Texas. So if BK wanted to throw shade, he probably should have said something like, I just hope we perform like an SEC team did last year against Clemson. But throwing Death Valley Jr., let me tell you something. Mickey Plyler and all those people that cover Clemson, everybody that will be built up so much to 3 or 4 days before, they're going to go in there and they are going to be spicy and they are going to be loud.
Well,
and all the LSU fans are in the nosebleed.
A lot of people will say that it might have been the poorly coached Les Miles Chick-fil-A Bowl that launched Dabo Swinney and the Clemson program to another level.
No doubt.
And, of course, that program has been on a slide for how many years now? Not really up to the –
Well, they made the playoffs last year, but he didn't want to fool with the portal, remember? And now he realized he's got to.
Yeah, but You don't want another game with LSU to launch him to another stratosphere or get him.
Yeah. So it probably was not a great decision by BK, but you know what? He's had a tendency to have foot and mouth disease before, and so you just have to move on. But if Nussmeier would have said that, everybody would have gone and said, why did Nuss give him bulletin board materials? But anyway, BK has a tendency. He likes to stir the pot a little bit, Mike.
David Lawrence, woohoo, another edition of TigerBait. Can't wait for Mike and Buddy. Yeah, we're here. Running a little late, but that's okay. Death Valley Jr. ain't mad at BK swag. It's an all-time. It says Randy Jones. Dane Bergeron says, hello, Mike and Buddy. We're for football season here. Ryan Mason, I heard the transfer on the O-line today was not good. Assuming he's talking about Thompson. He took his lumps today, like I said in the practice report.
Look, I keep up with the heights and weights, and he's gained 10 pounds since he's got here. He probably loves some Louisiana food, but he's going to get some of that belly fat off. Now, offensive linemen, even Will Campbell and Emory Jones had a little bit of that offensive lineman that weight, weighing 320. He weighs 315, but the reason he looked poor is because Bernard Gooden, the last guy along with A.J. Halsey, is 6'1", 270, coming over from the portal. And, Mike, I don't remember the last time we saw a D-tackle have a first step as quick as number 88. He's not going to start, but you're going to see 88, and he is quick off the ball.
Brad DeVete says, Mike, which player looked like he put on the most muscle? Let me go through Saturday before I say that, because Saturday will be at ground height for a long time. And we were up on the catwalk in the indoor today. I don't know if I have an answer to that, but
Nuss? On Nuss, he said?
No, which player looked like they put on the most muscle?
Oh, okay. Well, Harlan Berry gained 5 pounds of muscle. Nussmeier gained 5 pounds. He's up to
both borderline continues to just every year get. I mean, he won the what's the award they gave?
Iron Man Award.
Yeah. But yeah, would you like it to be? I guess maybe I don't know if you're fishing for it, but if you're an LSU fan, you'd love to hear, oh, it was Harlan Berry that put on the most muscle, or somebody like that. Yeah. But we'll see. In fact, bringing up Harlan Berry, some interesting blocking schemes that they had earlier today had him behind Caden Durham, and I don't know what all that means, but I thought JT Lindsay looked pretty good. Caleb Jackson looked darn good. What did they have Caleb Jackson listed at?
He lost some weight. He lost a pound. Look, you and I say, man, I lost a pound. He was 235 last year. They got him listed at 234. But I'll continue to say this until I'm blue in the face. If he can run to daylight instead of darkness, if that man gets in the secondary, there aren't many DBs that want to tackle him in the second and third level. But we promoted him for 2 years until he gets in the end zone. I'm not going to be all in on Caleb Jackson, but it would be a nice compliment to Caden Durham. Harlan Berry and JT Lindsay are going to catch the ball out the backfield. LSU plenty good at running back.
All right, let's hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride Roofing.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There you go, 855-PRIDE-16. Say TigerBait when they answer the phone. Of course, when you're calling for that free roof inspection. And when you say TigerBait, they're going to pay for it to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. That's a $99 value, and you just can't beat it. If you have any roofing issues, or you need a new roof, or you just need an estimate, had any damage from a storm, knock on wood that we don't have any future storms. We get through hurricane season unscathed. But if you have any issues or you need a new roof, let Pride Roofing give you a bid. And if you've got bids from somebody else, you have it on their letterhead, they'll beat it by $150. Anywhere in South Louisiana. Of course, new location here in Baton Rouge is thriving. Main location in Hammond, big on the North Shore, Covington, Mandeville, Madisonville, Slidell. Of course, New Orleans, home of Thibodaux. Got you covered like a blanket in Southeast Louisiana, without a doubt. That's why you need to give Pride Roofing a call, Mike Faraday, known him my entire life, an LSU grad, a local Broadmoor High grad, and just super fine people, and they'll earn your business.
Great to do business with, commercial, residential, and metal roofs. Once again, if you're interested in a metal roof, they are at the cutting edge ever since they made the acquisition with Crown Metals. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do it, folks. I know it's only one practice, but I'm a point to pride. And you're going to have pride once again in a defense. I think this is going to be the best defense that LSU's had in the BK tenure. Blake Baker's got plenty to work with. And speaking of these folks, the roof over your head is just as important as the roof over theirs. Give them an opportunity. They'll sharpen the pencil. They're not going to be underbid. They are going to do it the right way. You will feel great. And once again, give them an opportunity. 1-855-PRIDE-16. Tell them Mike and Buddy sent you over.
All right, we got a super chat from Dane Bergeron. BK should have kept his mouth shut since he has yet to win an opener at LSU. Les Miles is the reason I hired Dr. Daniels, but his teams were prepared and won some big openers.
Well, you know what? It's interesting. Maybe BK had an acquaintance with Dr. Daniels before that.
I can tell you right now, I don't think Buddy's still gotten over his anger at that trip to Lambeau.
Ooh, I will never, ever. Of course, I don't go to that many games in person anymore, but I've never seen the fan base more PO'd than halftime of LSU Wisconsin at Lambeau.
LSU all day, every day. What is y'all's guys feeling after day one? Do you think this team can contend for a national championship? I know it's early, but look, I don't make any bones about it. I've been saying 9-3 for 8 months. But that said, do I think they can contend for a national championship? I do. I mean, it's one of these deals where I think every team in college football, if you try to say that there's one team in the top 10 that's heads or tails above everybody else, it's just not so. You're going to have some breaks. You're going to have to, win that opener. Or if you lose the opener, you got to run the table. I'm not one of these people that thinks 9-3 gets you in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think you need to walk before you can run and jog and then sprint. And let's go one day at a time, 1 week at a time, one game at a time. You don't need to be thinking about a natty right now. I'll just ask you this, Mike. Do you think anybody in Columbus, Ohio, after they got beat by Michigan in the last regular season game of the year to go with their second loss of the year, you think anybody in there was saying they're going to win the natty? Nobody. They were right. All over Ryan Day and saying, if you don't get in here and do something, your butt's going to be going. They peaked at the right time, got it together, and won the natty. And so I think right now, you talk about getting in the SEC championship game, getting the playoffs, and then making a run with all of the breaks. Yes, that would be cool. Everybody knows my fantasy. LSU comes in as an 8 seed hosting number 9 Notre Dame in Tiger Stadium. That would be great. But let's enjoy the ride right now. But it's too early to talk about whether they can contend on a SEC or national championship.
I'll quote Buddy, you don't know.
Nobody knows.
Or maybe add a little Jim Mora to it. You never will know, or you, you think the famous Jim Mora.
That was when he said playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the key right now. And I think all of us will agree watching. This is a year where, from a public relations standpoint and from a projection of this football program, they've got to get in the playoffs.
When these rosters turn over and that large of a number, and LSU's not the only one, but everybody likes to say LSU went bigger than normal this year. And then a lot of those guys are projected starters.
Well, that's why I asked him the question. I've been saying it on this show. 50% of this team is new. You've got 50%. I guarantee you, folks, that defensive line is going to look appreciably different than it did last year. You got to be impressed with
I will say one prediction, it wasn't necessarily a prediction, but every year since he's been here, he said, I still want to build my team through high school recruiting. And I just never believed that was going to work that way. And I think it's actually going in the opposite direction. I don't think it's getting closer to being that way. We're talking about this recruiting class maybe only being 20, 21 high school signees. But I asked him when I ran into him at the LSU football camp and kind of off the record, just banner. I'm like, do you ever get to the point where when you have your senior day, you have more than 3 or 4 guys that you actually signed out of high school that are getting that white panel football? And I don't know if those days are coming back where you have a dozen. Dozen is probably was the average, right?
Yeah.
10 to 12.
Well, look what
I don't think you ever get back to that.
But let's tell the story of Lance Hurd. Lance Hurd came in as a highly touted offensive tackle. When he signed, he said, "Coach, I want to play left tackle." And he said, "Look, I got Will Campbell, so we're going to have you try at another spot." He was behind Campbell and behind Emory Jones, wanted to play, didn't feel like he played enough, didn't go to the bowl game with them, got money from Tennessee, and he was one and done. So it is a little bit more problematic keeping these freshmen in here. And now with all these guys that you brought in, look at the guys that you brought in that are going to be impact players. Jack Pyburn and Butler and Patrick Payton are 3 edge rushers that are going to play, Mike. You can go on and on. Monsieur Delane, Jakeem Jackson, all of that. And so, yeah, I think it's a combination of high school and portal. But you don't ever know when a kid is going to get here, be happy, and stay. The days of having a Nussmeier for 5 years, those days are long gone.
Well, the tell is when someone asks you the question, how many true freshmen do you think can make a big impact?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to answer right now.
I can only come up with one.
Who?
And even then, I'm kind of, Harlan Berry.
Yeah.
Because you got so many weapons on offense. How do you get a true freshman involved to where you can use the word impact?
Yeah. DJ Pickett could evolve.
Yeah,
it could evolve into that role, but he's not going to be the lead dog on the night of August 30th. But look, my point is that they are bigger, and we know that we've been talking about this. I think Jake Flint's got to be happy with these bigger guys to be working with.
We're talking about weight loss and weight gain. I'll tell you who I ran into in the hallway in the LSU football building. Scott Woodward. He's lost weight.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he's lost weight.
Well, he's nervous as hell because Kelly's in. He can't eat. Kelly's in. Just left him for Rutgers.
All right. By the way, Dane, earlier, thank you for that super chat.
Dane.
And Dr. Sibley Butler comes in with a huge super chat, one of our great supporters here on TigerBait. And he says, "We know that Nuss is the real deal. Who is his backup? Is there more than one? If so, are they young and outstanding? Do they have a rifle arm?"
I'll let you answer.
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, Michael Van Buren came from Mississippi State. He started 8 games as a true freshman at Mississippi State last year, played really well against Georgia and Texas, and a lot of yardage accrued via the run and pass. But Colin Hurley, I watched him today, and he is back 100%, really throwing the football. But I would say it's between those 2 guys. And look, Jawan Johnson, we didn't even see any reps with him today throwing the football. He's going to be a Wildcat quarterback. Inside,
I filmed a little bit of him in drills.
Yeah, but I mean, he's on the outside looking in. Although he could be a guy that runs a Wildcat offense with the shotgun inside the 10 or the 5. But Van Buren and Colin Hurley, I think, are battling. Now I got to ask you, because this is a more pertinent follow-up question: who was going to take the first snap at quarterback in 2026 for LSU?
I don't believe he's on the roster.
Yeah.
I don't believe that person's on the roster.
Yeah, so we don't know. But Doc, always appreciate you. Michael Van Buren and Colin Hurley are your 2 vying for the backup. And let's hope we don't see a lot of them this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Nuss goes the whole way, you really won't know.
Yeah, you won't. Then you can say to me, you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know Joe Sloan thinks the world of both of them. But we'll see. Dr. Butler, thank you so much for that.
By the way, you speaking of that, Arch Manning, and if you don't know your schedule, folks, 31 days from today, which means 28 from Saturday, you wake up and Arch Manning, his first big start, he started 2 earlier games with Arch Manning at Ohio State, the defending champs. And that'll be interesting to see. Of course, we know that Nuss and Cade Klubnik are going to get a lot of talking heads talking about that game because both those guys expected to be high draft picks.
Kenny Haynes comes in with a super chat. Mike, Friday is the 7-year anniversary of an independent TigerBait. Congratulations. Thank you, Kenny. I forgot about that. Glad to have been a small part of the rise of the site. So much for national affiliation being a big deal. Yeah, you're right, Kenny. I actually wish I would have went independent from rivals a decade sooner.
At Shark?
Yeah, knowing what I know now.
And let me tell you, that's one of the great things about your site. You have so many insightful guys that sponsor reports and segments and spread the word. And we couldn't do it without all those great viewers.
I can't believe it's been 7 years already.
I can't either.
Dr. Bell says, H-Town, you're exactly right. It takes Wood a long time for it to realize that it took BK 2 years to understand that he is in the SEC and not that little northern school. And he gave an analogy of making a guitar out of wood that's not dry yet.
All right. Listen, Dr. Butler's got some musical talent now.
So do I. Got some drums in here. Yeah.
Well, no, he's a piano singer. So he can do it all.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Isn't there a clip? All right. Spectrum Well Care. Will Zion Williams be a part of the rotation at D-line this year?
Probably, if that happens, it would be mid-season or what. I don't know if he's going to be able to get in the mix. This is another big kid they brought in, 6'4", 360. Now, he gained 5 pounds. He was 355 in the spring. But big 94, they like him a lot, but I don't know if he'll be able to get reps.
You don't need him.
Yeah.
Redshirt him.
Well, but the problem you have with redshirting is that you got to massage him and make sure that he realizes you still want him in part of your program. If he redshirts, he goes somewhere else. But we'll find that out later on in the season. But he is a very physically impressive young man.
Yeah, Brad David says, Buddy, that was interesting. You said Trey Holly wouldn't even be top 4 if he was still at LSU. Hope he does well at Southern.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to downplay him, but he hadn't played football in 2 years, Brad.
That was a good move for him. He needed to make that move. And then then he can go from there to somewhere else. You
agree with me. Caden Durham, Caleb Jackson, Harlan Berry, JT Lindsey. That's hard. He's got a much better shot, and we hope that it all works out for him from the legal standpoint.
Yeah. Dr. Butler adds that Scott Woodward is a great AD. I've had some interactions with Kelly Zinn, and I'm telling y'all, and I know a lot of you have heard her in interviews, and she spoke to different Rotary Club type things, and she was a rock star. I hope one day that she's gone to Rutgers and they're able to bring her back. And I hope her departure doesn't delay the new arena, because she was the tip of the spear on that. So, but good for Dr. Tate stealing her away.
Yeah, that's good buddies with John Sibley Butler. Dr. Butler's close with Dr. Tate. And, of course, he left being a president over here, went to Rutgers, and brought her in there. Rutgers, by the way, has had some financial obstacles. And so this is a big move for them to try to get this. And, look, they're seeing how LSU does it. And Tate is taking all the things he's learned over here. But you got to win with football, and we'll see. But I know you're impressed with her. I've been impressed with her. And we'll see who Scott Woodward brings.
She might be able to hire Beth Torina next year.
Well, I don't know about that. I know you're joking, but
yeah.
By the way, Beth Torina and the Lady Tiger softball players picked up another young lady from the portal. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
A pitcher from Oklahoma. So,
yeah, I saw it. LSU all day, every day. Hearing anything on Deuce Gerald? He commits Saturday. LSU's pushing hard. Oregon in the mix. If everything's even, I think LSU's in a good spot. If it's an NIL play, and when Oregon really wants somebody, to me, it's hard to beat them if it's who can raise the most money to get that player.
But this is what I want to ask you now. Austin Thomas brought in Bolden from Ole Miss, brought in Sam Petito from Ohio State, and and Jeff Martin, who you really like and already have known.
Talked to him today.
And so my question is to you is that, and BK was asked this question by Ron Higgins about all the things, the hats that you have to wear with being a head coach nowadays, with the money and the general manager and what you do.
And by the way, Petito was in on Gerald's when he was at Ohio State.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So my question to you is, how much of the addition of those three guys under Austin Thomas, how much does that help LSU moving forward with this crazy game of big money? And
I think it helps, but you still that doesn't do anything for your pot of resources.
Well, but I think those guys, Austin
you're
Thomas,
hiring a bunch of people. That's money going out the door.
I know, but they're bringing in money too. Austin Thomas has gotten a lot more money in since he's been here. How long has Austin been back? 2 years now. Mm-hmm. Okay, trust me. I
don't have a pick for it yet. I'm not saying either way, but LSU is absolutely a factor there.
And same with the other wide receiver.
And I like LSU with Jace Matthews.
Yeah, Jace Matthews, Auburn, and LSU.
Yeah, but that's another one. Auburn's got huge, but that one, if you can't see the difference between LSU and Auburn, then I don't know what to tell you.
By the way, Dominic McKinley's little brother goes tomorrow, and you have had a prediction for LSU for a long time. What time's he committing tomorrow? McKinley's brother.
It'd be Friday, and it's
Friday. Okay,
and he's just going to announce, I think, 1 p.m. He's
1
just going to
p.m.
let it go on Twitter. That's LSU.
Okay,
and with the progress that Dominic McKinley has made from year one to year two, I think his younger brother Darius is going to be the same way. Little raw out of high school, and then a year or two in college, and he's going to be a man.
Dominic McKinley.
If I remember right, not to interrupt, I was told his daddy was the same way.
Okay.
His daddy was a player and was the same way.
But I've never heard a coach say what he said today. Dominic McKinley has gotten so muscular and buffed, they had to add more weights and barbells so he could squat something. Are you saying, of course, you're saying he exaggerated that like he did Nussmeier's 40 time?
Yes.
He said Nussmeier today ran 21.4. And I kind of stood up and I said, that's kind of fast for a quarterback. But so McKinley didn't squat 600 pounds.
Oh, no, I'm sure you can squat it.
But
they didn't run out of weights.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we had to walk through the gym today. Did you see all the plates?
Yeah.
No, maybe they need a longer bar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's strong. He looks good. Relaford looks good. Hybern looks good. And in case you have not realized it at this point, Ahmad Bro has changed his number from 93 to 16. You're going to see 16 on that D-line. And Wes Weeks, that was the big story for me. Wes Weeks going in front of Devon Keys at the Mike linebacker. Perkins is at star. Whit Weeks. I can't wait to see what Blake Baker dials up to get Perkins and Whit Weeks back at the quarterback at the same time.
All right, you see it on the screen, the 2026 GV70, 4.99 APR for 60 months, Genesis of Lafayette, your premier Genesis luxury dealership, offering the finest cars and SUVs in the region, coupled with the best service anywhere. Genesis of Lafayette has a huge inventory of new and certified pre-owned Genesis vehicles. So for a truly first-class automotive experience, it's Genesis of Lafayette, 6600 Johnson Street. And again, go to genesisoflafayette.com or call them at 877-856-2961. Please tell them that TigerBait sent you in. Huge LSU fans there. Of course, Genesis, they're right next door to the Hyundai dealership. But the Genesis vehicles, whether it's the GV70, the GV80, their sedans, they're all top of the charts, rated number one in each of their classes. Go test drive one. And I challenge you to find a better interior in any of their competitors.
Great service to you personally, to you and the missus, and a very safe car. Tiger Woods wouldn't be living without being in that Genesis.
Absolutely. And I need to talk also about Alumni Hall. You see it right there on the screen, the national championship gear. They still have a ton of that, but they've also been getting a load of LSU product in for the LSU football season. All the Nike stuff that the coaches wear on the sidelines. Get in there before it all gets picked over. Get your stuff ready for the upcoming LSU football season. Get your gear for if you're making the road trip to Clemson. And so go over to alumnihall.com, and you guys know it. You're my guys and you're my gals. Use code TigerBait, all one word, in store, online, and you're going to get 10% off your purchase. And again, a beautiful store in Perkins Row, chock full of LSU gear and product. If there's something you're looking for and you're hoping it has an LSU logo on it, if they don't have it, nobody does. You'll get free shipping on all orders over $99. They always have the 2 for $38 T-shirts up front. You can mix and match. And again, head over to Alumni Hall.
Hey, don't forget those great deals on those T-shirts. 2 for $38 still going. And look, I got a feeling that they're going to do a great business this year. I really do.
Absolutely. LSU Hyper Ninja 9. Hey, Mike and Buddy, is DJ Pickett really 6'5"?
You know what? It's funny you said that because Higgins is 6'5". Ron Higgins, I said, look, when you do an interview with him, I want you to stand neck and neck. If he is 6'5", and I had to lean on Mike. Everybody talks about my memory. Mike remembered it. I called him up and said, who was that big, tall corner? Farrell Simon was 6'4".
Are you talking about a 50-year-old Ron Higgins?
Yeah.
Because we do shrink with age.
Well, I asked him about that. I said, you must have been 6'6" because we do shrink. But point of it is that LSU has never had a cornerback listed at 6'5", and 195. We'll see. Everybody tells me he's a player. I don't know how much he'll be ready for Clemson, but he's going to be the next great DB at LSU.
There you have it.
DJ Pickett.
Hakeem Batiste. This defense in the O-line will be the key to the team's success this year. Can't wait for the season. Great combination of both young talent and the vets make for a team that can make a lot of noise. I agree. I'm watching Blake Baker out there at practice and that group. And regardless of Clemson, I think if LSU is going to get to the playoffs, Blake Baker's defense has to be the difference.
And that's why I said you're going to have great pride. Now, when we talk about great pride with LSU, depending on how old you are, but you remember those goal line stands. You remember those incredible plays. You remember the 19 defense getting after people and knocking the heck out of them. I think they're going to be aggressive. I think they're deeper, but we still know that you've got to cover on the outside with the corners. You've got to support the run and cover over the top with the safeties. But, man, I'm impressed with that defensive line. I think they're going to definitely be more aggressive and productive and consistent than last year's D-line. Look, we had Braden Swinson and Savion Jones, and they did well. They wouldn't start. Neither one of them, no disrespect, neither one of them would start on this team this year. Neither one.
I think when we go to practice and, maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. But has it happened yet where I'm like, man, these corners and these safeties, DBU is back? No, I haven't seen that. I haven't felt that way.
But they're getting better every day because they're trying to cover.
But that group, like the offensive line, are going against. I think this defensive line is absolutely the best since BK's been here, and I have a good feeling that possibly early in the season we're going to be saying, "Boy, what a hire Kyle Williams was."
Yeah.
All right. So if that happens, and then I brought it up on your show earlier today. You look at LSU's schedule, and you guys give us your comments in the chat. What receiving core on LSU's schedule that these LSU DBs are going to face is better than the barrage that they face at practice every day? Barry and Brown, Aaron Anderson, Chris Hilton, Nick Anderson when he's healthy.
Destin Hill caught everything.
Kyle Parker, Destin Hill.
He caught everything in sight today. Look, they are loaded.
Say nothing about the tight ends. My favorite play of the day was Bauer Sharp on the middle screen.
Oh, yeah.
It's just and then you got running backs coming out of the backfield catching it.
Yep.
I don't know. Again, it could very well be where those units get it so bad during the week the Saturdays look easy to them.
But here's the key, I think, on that defense. If you get the kind of pressure we feel like they're going to get on the quarterback, that gives the quarterback a half a second left. Everybody knows or should know in the NFL that quarterback has 2.5 seconds. And after the 2.5 seconds in his clock, maybe 2.7, maybe 2.8. But if you're holding it three seconds, then you're going through your progression of reads to 3 or 4. But, Mike, if you put pressure and you make Cade Klubnik and all these other quarterbacks, they're going up against a lot of quarterbacks. So we're going to find out how good DBU is this year. But that defensive front and Perkins and Weeks and the guys, that could help the secondary out because they might not have as much time to throw it this year.
Rick Cloetti agrees with me. He says they're facing some tough wide receivers and tight ends, Buddy and Mike. He says answer is none. We have the best wide receivers they'll face all season. And he says it reminds me of 19 with so many weapons and speed and space like Joe Brady enjoyed.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I don't know if they don't have 3 like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Terrence Marshall.
No, but
but man, let me tell you, you got little guys, you got big guys, but everybody can run. I mean, you know, Kyle Parker had an incredible summer. I saw some of that film when he was working out. We didn't even talk about him today, hardly. But Destin Hill's a big guy that looked good. Nick Anderson, by the way, had a concussion in the car accident. He's been cleared. I think he'll get back to 100% in the next couple of days. But LSU has got receivers like I've never seen before.
But that is a good question. Which of these wide receivers do you think is going to be the most successful pro?
I don't know.
I want to see Hilton be healthy for an entire year. And if he does that, I'm going to say Chris Hilton.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Chris Hilton.
But Aaron Anderson in the NFL is a third guy. He could do some damage.
Well, you know, I've said this before in a joking manner, but it's come to fruition. I don't think Chris Hilton has dropped a football ever since he started dating Lajay Johnson.
He might not have.
I mean, look, he had a couple of big catches again.
BK's talking about how well-spoken and outgoing he was because he's really shy.
Yeah.
What he was like, it just shocked him at SEC Media Days. This Flaugier thing with him, y'all think I'm joking because I say it all the time. But him seeing how she operates and her work ethic, and you can't tell me that's not motivating.
Well, not only that, though, but let's just hope the good Lord's got a healthy year for him because if anybody deserves it, Chris Hilton does. But
absolutely. Love him, love his family, great people.
You're going to have to know the roster and numbers because they're going to send out a bunch of wide receivers. And so we'll get into that as we get closer. But Chris Hilton, I think, you know, last year he wasn't around early and you had Karen Lacey basically as your deep threat because Hilton was out there. And now you got deep threats galore. Barian Brown, by the way, number 6. Last time he played against Clemson, took it to the house 3 times, and the fan base of Clemson knows about Barian Brown. That was in the bowl game against Kentucky. Scored on a kickoff return, a wide receiver run, and a reception. And so we hadn't even talked about Barian Brown. This is another Blazer, and Mike, they're all catching the football. And Jelani Watkins, I forgot to mention, the little track guy. He actually had a couple. Now, he did drop a pass or 2, but I've never seen the speed and the quantity that they've had this year, but you still got to get them the football.
All right, let me talk to you about Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs might be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, a 200,000 square foot warehouse that you need built, expanding your existing commercial building. They can wire all of that. Changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, just a receptacle, upgrading old lighting in your home or office. They can wire that. Give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. Make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. Huge LSU fans over there, a Baton Rouge area owned and operated company, and they're absolutely fantastic. And I need to also tell you about the newest, greatest oyster bar in Baton Rouge, Bays, downtown Baton Rouge. You see it on the screen. Just the unbelievable the offerings they have and the different types of oysters. Again, Farm raised from Grand Isle, no mud, no grit, just clean, delicious flavor. If you're not into oysters, swap in some boiled shrimp, which I've had, and they're outstanding. Their turkey, brie, and bacon sandwich is the best po' boy I've had in Baton Rouge in forever. I need to get it back over there for that. The classic roast beef po' boy you can eat for 2 days on it. That's how much roast beef's on it. But they've got at least 6-8 different types of oysters to choose from. And they also have a fully stocked bar complete with top-notch bourbon, whiskey, and a massive craft beer selection. That's 315 North Boulevard. And, of course, it's the former Jolie Pearl. You know where that's at, downtown Baton Rouge. And they spent a lot of money getting that restaurant up to speed before they opened it. And the food is off the chain. It's outstanding. All right, let's get some more comments in. I don't know that I got to look at him today. Hold on. Hakeem Batiste wants to know, how is Teron Francis looking? Can he be a great homegrown first round wide receiver on the roster?
I don't know if it'll happen this year, but he reminds me a lot of Jamar Chase. He's 6'1", 207, had a fantastic catch. He's 83. Billiot's 82. Billiot, a redshirt freshman. This guy's a true freshman. I don't know if he's going to get in the mix because there's so many people ahead of him, but next year I think he's going to be a star. It took Jamar Chase a year to get his feet wet, but I think he's the next great Louisiana receiver that we see. Big, strong, big hands, catches everything, very physical, and can run.
H-Town Creole, I'm just waiting for Nick Anderson to get healthy. We sat out today due to concussion protocol. He said, because I see when he did at Oklahoma in his freshman season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him tomorrow and again on Saturday.
Hey, he was incredible in the red zone for Oklahoma a couple of years ago. 31 catches, 10 for touchdowns. Man, can you see Bauer Sharp, Trey'Dez Green, Nick Anderson? I love those big skyscrapers where you go in there, where you're throwing the fade, whether you throw in the slant. And I saw it. I don't know. You and I had that.
Trey'Dez Green, was he kind of quiet today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was quiet because BK is trying to make him into a blocking tight end, and Trey'Dez Green is not a great blocker. So Bauer Sharp got a lot of the reps, but we didn't see 12 personnel today. And, you know, we saw a lot of that in the spring. We go back through and forth through this. What are we going to see?
I went and filmed a little bit of the tight ends doing individual drills, but as far as when they were, you know, doing some real live stuff, I didn't see much Trey'Dez.
Trying to make Trey'Dez Green be a better blocker. And, look, it's going to be a work in progress, but two blocking tight ends, Bauer Sharp and Donovan Green, and then Trey'Dez is your pass catching tight end. I just want to see him in the game. I watched some film. They didn't have him inside the red zone. That's a crime, not putting Trey'Dez Green in the ball game. Incredible wingspan and catches everything with the hands. It's like a vice grip. The ball comes, and it's like a magnet. He doesn't drop them. So
Chance Babin says, ask Mike and Buddy, if LSU football had a 4x100 team, are they the best in college football? Well, based on BK today, Nussmeier should be running the final leg.
Anchor? No. Well, look, Jelani Watkins, I was glad to see the guy. He runs 10.01 in 100 meters. And so I don't know about what they would run in the 4x100, but they've got some burners, Barry Brown and all of them. So you're going to see more speed. And why is that fun? Because you remember when who's
LSU's fastest corner?
Fastest corner, I don't know, but I mean, the receivers would all be on that relay team, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But look, it's fun to watch. You remember Aaron Anderson and took that slant to the house against A&M or whatever. You're going to have a lot of fun, man. There's nothing more exciting as a Tiger fan. You're watching the game, and all of a sudden you split the defenders and you take it. LSU's going to have some long catch and run situations this year. I really think they're going to have, and I'm expecting this. I hadn't predicted this again. I'm going to say it. Nuss is going to go 4,000 yards or more again this year, Mike.
Sal Runfalo. I hope I didn't butcher it. Sal Runfalo. I'm going to say Runfalo. Runfalo. How about punt returners? He asked.
I talked to John Eads after I talked to you, and nobody saw any special teams. But Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas, and Barry Brown all have returned kickoffs for touchdowns. Interesting to see who's going to be the punt returner. Oh, by the way, you've heard me mention this. You got a new punter, you got a new holder, and you have a new snapper. So
I think we'll see some Saturday.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying you better have those guys ready to go because Clemson is going to try to win on special teams in that first night. They're going to try to block a punt. They're going to try to do some other things, but Grant Chetwick will be a better punter than what LSU had last year. I feel safe in predicting that.
Yeah. You guys get us some more questions in here, and we'll get to them. Rick Claret, we had returns for touchdowns in our last two games, right? And David Woodard says if Green wants to make it to the NFL, he will have to learn to block.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, but he could be a big receiver in the NFL, and he's kind of a hybrid tight end. And I know they're trying to get him, but
now that basketball's over and it's
we'll see
a lot of weightlifting, and he gets older, that weight's going to come on him, and it's just natural that as he gets. But
he didn't gain a pound. He's 240 last year and 240 this year. So if he's going to get in there and block, he probably needs 5 pounds of Scarborough muscle.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what they're. Man, I don't know. What is his metabolism like? Because I guarantee you, they've got him on a high calorie. But if he doesn't come in the building and eat it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sal says, "Good job, Big Sal." Haha.
Big Sal, yeah, he's anxiously waiting the start of.
He's got the caps that I like to wear that all my buddies make fun of. Hakeem Batiste, is Caleb Jackson running back 2? Is he seeing the hole and catching passes out of the backfield? He has an NFL skill set that I hope he answers this season.
Well, we didn't see anything that would tell us anything different. We're not going to know that until they line up. But like I said, we've been promoting him for a couple of years, and if he can ever,
I think he's running back 2.
Yeah, I think he's running back 2. But Harlan Berry is going to get a lot of reps. And look, Mike and I and Snake, we always have this comment. So let's get it out of the way now, Mike. Let's get it out of the way. Please, Lord, give Frank some intuition that when a running back is hot, you keep that son of a gun in the game. Now, nobody did it worse than Les Miles when they lost to Kentucky in the championship year. And Charles Scott had 92 yards at halftime, and they didn't put him back in the second half until the third overtime. But Caden Durham, when he's hot, needs to stay in the freaking game. Caleb Jackson, if he's running over people, needs to stay in the game.
There's nothing that aggravated me more last year than Caden Durham
getting taken out,
being a big part of the offense, an 80-yard drive, and then they get in the red zone, and here comes Josh Williams.
So Snake knows where we're going with this. I'm thinking Frank's going to do a better job of that. And
Come on, Frank.
Look, Frank, we love you. You know, LSU wouldn't be where it is without Frank right now. Let's be honest. That was the first big hire that let BK come in and say, "Hey, I know Louisiana. This is."
I wanted to be like Billy Bean in the movie Moneyball, where I would trade away Josh Williams so that wasn't an option for Frank last year.
Well, look, you've got three guys,
and then when I go off the deep in it about that, then Josh would have a great game.
Yeah, right. I know. So Frank knows what he's doing, but we do hope that he keeps the hot running back in. And look. The South Carolina game, if you remember, they were down 17-0 to Carolina in the first half. And that's when Caden Durham made that incredible run, escaped everybody and dove into the end zone. They had to replay it to make sure he scored. And after he does that for a couple series, then you don't see him for 3 series. So let's hope that that's what we're talking about. But Frank, we love you. And
but every time you thought you had it nailed down, Josh Williams would make you look bad for saying things.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about
it. He had some really nice moments.
He did.
All right. And then a hard-nosed football player. There it is, Stroubies. You see it on the screen, and I'm starving. I haven't had anything in for hours.
Me either.
I could kill that cowboy ribeye right there on that screen. And again, one of your finest steakhouses in South Louisiana, Stroubies Seafood and Steaks, located at 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Of course, they pride themselves on providing a 5-star dining experience at a reasonable price, locally owned, ownership in the building, all fresh ingredients, USDA prime black Angus steaks, 100% certified Wagyu New York strip. And of course, they've got a full menu of seafood. They got the dry aged pork chop, duck Louisiana steak Diane, redfish, black truffle lobster pasta. So book your reservation online tonight at Stroubies.com. Go over to Stroubies.com and look at the menu. They've got the menu online. I'm always looking for places to dine out, and Stroubies has one of the best websites where you can actually see the menu. You're not going to Google Images and hoping someone took a photo of the menu with the cell phone. They actually have it on the website, and good for them.
Great service. We've been 3 or 4 times in the summertime. Every time we call, she tells us about parking. She tells us about availability. She'll get you a reservation, give them an opportunity. He likes the steak. I'm a pork chop guy. And
I'm going for that Wagyu New York strip next time I go in, which is going to be very soon.
I'm still going with the pork chop.
Hakeem Batiste, Harlan Berry is Reggie Bush / Joe McKnight 2.0. I've told the story 100 times. The first time I ever saw Harlan Berry's 8th or 9th grade film, and I sent it out to a half a dozen friends immediately, and I said, "Who does he remind you of?" And within seconds, they all came back Joe McKnight. Look just like him. Great kid. I hope he has some early success.
You're bringing back nostalgia. I can remember when we were all at the Bayou Recruiting Bash, and of course, Joe McKnight went with USC, and everybody in that facility had like the worst look. It was a stench in the place. And lo and behold, LSU won a national.
But that didn't hurt LSU.
No, I was going to say they won a national championship.
Every one of those guys that was high like that didn't hurt LSU. Landon Collins.
Yeah.
They always had guys that went to the NFL that were in those spots.
And I'm going to tell you something crazy that I think one of the best things that happened to LSU this summer was losing the verbal commitment of Bryce Underwood. Whenever he lost that, whatever, maybe not this summer, but
because of the money.
Because they had all that money for him. And you know what? When they lost him, that's why you got Jack Pyburn. That's why you got all these guys. I would much rather 7 or 8 guys with that $10 million or whatever it was, $9 million, whatever they had allocated. And I think LSU is a better football player.
The worry is now is that you're going to have to do it 2 years in a row.
Well, that's the problem. Looking forward to 26. That is
if
problematic.
You're going to steal one, how are you going to steal one?
Yeah.
You have to steal them with money.
Yep.
And then you got your guys on the board for next year. Now, do I think Nussmeier and Elijah Haven or Peyton Houston or whoever, do I think they're going to be Bryce Underwood money? No. But, yeah.
That was Lil Nussmeier that Mike was referring to.
Yeah, Colt Nussmeier. It's already 6'4", 6'5". Kenny Russell, Mike, what's your opinion on our wide receivers today and the depth we have in general? I like the depth everywhere. Now, do you have elite starters where we're worried about the offensive line, newcomers? But as far as depth, this is BK's best roster, period. And that wide receiver room is just insane. But there isn't a single position where you're like, man, they're so thin there, right?
Well, I think center is a concern on the offensive line. BK did say that Braylon Moore made the seamless transition starting. DJ Chester went over to left guard. But, if you keep that, who's your backup center? We don't know. Cohen Ekins can play a little bit, but he's been playing some guard. Wide receivers, Kenny, there's 8 or 9
I mean,
of
you can be greedy and say, boy, you sure would like a bona fide number 2 quarterback that can win that can win big games for you. But how many schools can say that?
And you don't have a lot of depth at deep snapper. Jonathan Ferguson's going in as the starting deep snapper. He's been around 4 or 5 years. Silas Hall is a kid that they got locally.
Knock on wood. When is a long snapper ever injured?
No, but you don't want to hear his name mentioned, because when his name is mentioned, it usually means it's a bad snap.
When was the last time LSU had a bad deep snapper?
Well, look, the brothers were incredible. From Buford, Georgia. Did you see that new stadium they just put? Buford, Georgia just spent $62 million on a new stadium. It's unbelievable. It's better than some college stadiums.
Buford's been good to LSU.
Absolutely been good.
Rick Cloette, is Jack Pyburn going to be as good as we all think? LSU's linebackers will be fun to watch. Look, what do they call him? One sack Jack?
Yeah, but he's going to get more than this year.
It's more than sacks. It's hurries. It's being a disruptor, a vocal leader, which he is. I think he's good for this football team.
And look, Jack Pyburn is going to be one of the guys leading LSU out of the tunnel when they go play at Clemson. BK's already lit the torch on their fan base. Death Valley Jr., how dare you? But I like Jack Pyburn. I can see him getting the hands up and telling the crowd when they play Florida in week 3. But here's the kicker. Braden Swinson and Savion Jones. You remember how we looked and noticed how much better they were from the edge? You know why? You got the best edge rush coach in the country in Kevin Peoples. And Jack Pyburn is going to triple or quadruple his sacks from last year. That means 3 or 4, Mike. He only had 1.
David Woodard, what I'm hearing about Kearney, I want to see this guy play. I hear him and Mitchell go at it.
Carius Kern?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He lost 15 pounds. He did get beat by some of the edge rushers today, but they like him a lot, and he's kind of like Solomon Thomas. You don't know when the light's going to go on for him. He could be starting. He could be in a backup, but he's got a bright future at LSU. Coming from Arkansas, 320.
That was a great pickup.
Yeah, that was a great pickup. But he lost 15 pounds in offseason, so he's serious.
Hakeem Batiste, what are the second string O linemen? That's a deep young group too, with a few 5 stars.
Carius Kern is the backup at left tackle. Paul Mubinga, who started last year at left guard, is the backup left guard. Braden Augustus was the backup center today, but you could also have DJ Chester at center and also Cohen Eccles. Cohen Eccles was the backup at right guard. And, of course, Bo Bordelon, who won the Iron Man Award or whatever they called it, Iron something, was starting the backup at right tackle.
Based on that, what does it take for DJ Chester to be on the field?
Oh, I think he's going to start at left guard. I do. I think he starts at left guard.
Yeah.
That's where he was today. And look, no disrespect to DJ, but, you know, there were 5 or 6 times where he had problems with the snapping and all that other stuff. He's not a natural center. You talked him up. You like him. He's nasty.
Dude, I think he's going to be a beast.
He is going to be a beast.
I think Chester can be an NFL player.
Yeah, I do too.
A lot of people, just wanted to throw him away because he had troubles at center. But that kid, man, you see him out there. Dr. Butler says Terrace Marshall was a carbon copy of Joe Delaney, his great uncle, and a great Louisiana running back. And Kenny Russell says, why are we practicing Kern at tackle? In my opinion, he's a guard.
Well, look, now we get to your favorite time with Brad Davis and Alex Atkins. And, Eads, who I had on this afternoon, he saw Alex Atkins. He's here to help the run game. And so Alex Atkins and Brad Davis have got to get 10 guys across the board that they can depend on. But at this point, Carius Kern, if he can't cut it at left tackle, he'll be a backup left guard. He can play.
All right. Last one, Capital City Grill. One of the great lunch spots in Baton Rouge, as well as one of the premier brunch spots, Sunday brunch, 100 Lafayette Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Variety of sandwiches, burgers, seafood, pasta. but that Sunday brunch is to die for. You see it on the screen: the chicken and waffles, the best carrot cake in Baton Rouge, great hamburgers, great French fries, everything made fresh, none of the chicken's frozen, and club sandwiches, French dip sandwich. They've got everything at Capital City Grill, and I might try and hit that brunch of theirs on Sunday myself, and get over to Capital City Grill. And here's the thing: when you're planning your weekends in Baton Rouge and you're staying downtown, you got a hotel, you're coming in from out of town, hit Capital City Grill on the way out of town for their Sunday brunch. Starts at 11 a.m. and it'll run till 2 p.m.
Great outside dining, and also that bar. Very, very accommodating if you're having to wait for a table or whatever. Just a great atmosphere, and very, very consistent, as we all know.
Great food every time. Anything you want to add on the way out?
Just reminding people that the Manda Fine Meats, we bring you the Manda tidbits each and every day. And for those of you who are going to Clemson, and for those of you who will be watching it, get you some Manda on game day. Sausage, boudin, ham, turkey, roast beef, whatever, hog head cheese, whatever. We're telling everybody, if you eat Manda on game day, LSU's got a better chance and probability of winning. They are the official smoked sausage of LSU athletics. And it's going to be interesting to see what tailgating. I have not yet. Have you talked to Mickey in a while?
Mm-mm.
I don't know, have any idea about tailgating and what it's going to be like. LSU got 6,000 tickets. 5,500 were in the Bob Uecker nosebleed.
I'm going to be real curious to see how high those tickets go on third-party sellers.
But I have no idea about Clemson. I do know this. It's going to be a Rabbit Stadium. It's going to be at 6:30 on ABC. And the build-up for that game, I really think that's going to be the most exciting game. But bring that Manda on the road. Eat it in your parties at Tiger Stadium and, of course, in the stadium. And don't forget, Manda Fine Meats for flavor and spice. And Mike Scarborough really do say it all.
All right, everybody. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show. Practice report in footage tomorrow. We got out of practice. Friday, no media access. Saturday, we get the entire practice. So we've got a lot coming your way on TigerBait.com throughout fall camp. Please go over to TigerBait.com and subscribe. We love to have you as a part of our TigerBait community. You'll get our newsletters, our text alerts for any breaking news, all of our analysis pieces, and I'll be dropping practice tidbits on our message board as well. And so that Tiger Den message board is about to kick into a whole other gear. And so go over to TigerBait.com and subscribe. And we'll be back here next week for another edition of TigerBait Live.
See you in the morning, everybody, with another update.
Good night.